Well, welcome back, folks. So we are back with the 20-gallon tank. And if you recall in the video from 2 weeks ago, I was trying to reseal this tank because it had a small leak in it. And I was unsuccessful. So, life lesson. You don't give up on things. You try again. And you just keep pushing forward. So that's what we did. Tried again. And here this weekend, I didn't bring anybody along for it because it would have been long and tedious. 25 hours later, still holding water, not a drop leaking out of it. That being said, I still have it on the little black thing here, just in case. I feel like, it was 25 hours filled right up to somewhere in here. I feel like the fact that no drop came out the entire 25 hours, we're probably good to go. But I have this little thing. I may as well use it just to be safe. I know it kind of hangs off that edge, which, in my mind, drives me nuts. Maybe it will you guys too. But the good news is we're holding water, which means we can move on with some of the next stuff for what we're doing here. Now, it is late in the evening. I'm kind of tired. It was a hot day. I moved a lot of furniture today. And so tonight here, we're just going to get the lights set up. Now, I mentioned in the last video that I got what is probably the fanciest light that I have for any of these tanks. And it is the Lumini, I don't know how you say that. It's the Nano LED aquarium light. And freshwater, of course. And it's got the light, it's got instructions, all that kind of stuff. The instructions are probably useful at some point to somebody. But why on earth would anybody want to read those? So I've got some plastic to pull off of it here. There's maybe I'll be cutting this off. Nope, it'll rip. Okay. So I don't know, maybe I do need to read the instructions. Nope, figured it out. So the nice thing about this light is it is adjustable as far as the gooseneck on it. So, I can adjust it, height, angle, all that kind of stuff. This just screws on. And then I've got my little bolt here that I will screw in through here to tighten it on the tank. So, give me a minute there. I will get this on and we'll take a look and see. I'll turn this overhead light off so we can see what kind of light this gives us. So we'll be back in just a second. Alright, so it's on there. As you can see, it's not centered. I don't want it centered for this because I have, you know how it gets. There's an idea in my head. So let me tilt you a little bit more here so you can actually see the light. So again, it's not centered. I know that's there. That's gonna drive me nuts. Before I fill this, I might see if I can get some of that backing so that you can't see it. But right now I don't have any. And that light can just screw on and off. And like I said, just getting the light on here, this is all I'm doing tonight. I'm tired. It's after 10 p.m. It's actually, I think it's after 10:30. Anyway, so the light, let me get the overhead light off. And you can kind of see a reflection of my little Christmas tree that I have decorated for the 4th of July here. But let's get the light on. So, comes with a little remote control. And I can control, there's 100%. Now it's going to be too much for what I want to do with this tank. And that's fine. But I can go way down if I want. And I can keep, obviously you can see my little flash the remote control every time I change something, make it brighter. But you can really see on the camera here, I can really pick up the blue that's coming out of it. It does have the red and blue LEDs in it. So it should, I believe it's got the green as well. That looks like, yeah, you can kind of see the green there on the back. So the colors for the fish when we put them in here should really pop with this light. It's got timers on it where I can set the timer. It also does have it on the cord as well, where you can do a lot of this. I don't know if you can do the timer on there. Haven't really looked. And there's a little Wi-Fi option on here on the top, which you can't see now that I have the overhead light off, so I don't know why I showed you. But I haven't set any of that up yet. I don't know if I will because I have the remote control. And the remote control is probably just going to live over here anyway. But the light's on, and it's, point it down just a little bit more. So that's what we're looking at for right now. I'm going to see about some backing so that that little doorstop there is not to be seen. And in the meantime, we're going to get some stuff in here and start building this tank like I wanted to 2 weeks ago. This time with holding water properly. So we'll be back with some of that other stuff, and preferably after I get some rest. So we'll see you here again in a bit. Alright, welcome back. It's another day. I left off the other day with the light on. The camera's in a little bit different position. We're going to get some hardscape in. Somehow. I've got an idea in my head. Not sure how it's going to work. So you might see me playing around with it here a little bit. But just stick with me here. Because I think we can get this with what I have available. So we're just going to try to see what it looks like. If I don't like how something's looking or how it's going together, then I'm going to take it out and try it again. But I'm also probably going to speed this up. So let's just get into it. Alright, so what I'm trying to do is make it so there are gaps to go in and out. And honestly, I just kind of like this one. I just like how it looks. I'm not entirely sure which side I want facing out, but I just think it looks cool. So I kind of want it out on its own. So this is going to be sticking up out of the water a little bit on this side. And nothing too fancy, nothing. I'm sure if you're watching this, you'd done it a different way, put the rocks in a different space. But, you know, tap test, the MD approved tap test if you watch MD's channel. Nothing fancy. I just wanted to have some gaps in there that could be like a little refuge, and they can swim through here and out the backside and around and all that kind of stuff. So I suppose the next bit is getting some sand in, and I'm probably going to take these small ones out until I put the sand in, and then that way I can just kind of toss them on top. But let's do that next. So let me go get that. So that's apparently not working for the whatever. Okay. So my little clicker thing isn't working to record. I've got the sand. It's going to take me a little bit to get it in there because I'm trying not to spill it, and I'm going to be using little cups. So it might be one of those where I bring it back after it's all done and just kind of, you know, snap the fingers, fancy editing, kind of bring it back and boom, it's done. And also the air conditioner is going to kick on, so that'll make some noise. But yeah, so I'll bring you back here in a little bit once some sand is in, and we'll go from there. And just like that, we are full of sand. Now it's not even, and I'm probably going to put some more in, but I'm not really concerned about it being even or anything like that because I do expect it to get moved on me. So the next step of the procedure here is going to be getting a couple more scoops of sand in, and then I'm going to start getting a little bit of water in here. And the filter that I'm putting on here right now is going to be a temporary filter while I'm trying to get the one I actually want. But for right now, it'll get the water moving off for us, and it'll help the sand settle a little bit where it's going to settle until the fish are in there. And yeah, we'll go from there. So I'll bring you back, I suppose, once we're doing the once all the water's in, because that's gonna take a while. The downsides of not having a hose, I guess, where I could put this in and just, you know, take a few minutes to fill it up. So we'll be back much later. We'll see you in a bit. Alrighty, it's been a little bit of time and we're back. So, water's in. There's a little bit of film on the top. I will deal with that here in a little bit. Water's actually pretty cold because I filled it with cold water. It's just easier. And all we have left that we're doing tonight is I'm going to get the temporary filter running in here just to get the water moving around, and then I am going to be putting, you guys know I use API products, we're going to be putting some Aqua Essential in here to get the water treated. I am not going to do the beneficial bacteria at this time, and that's just because there's nothing in there to provide food for that bacteria. We're just going to let it run for a little while, let it get settled. I should hopefully have the other filter, which is going to be a little canister filter for this one. Should have that in and ready to go by then. when we do get the residents of this tank, then we'll worry about putting that beneficial bacteria in. But for now, let's get the filter in and on. It's just hanging here on the side. It is nothing fancy. It is just a whisper filter. So nothing too big, too fancy about it. It's too big for my little 5-6 gallon tanks. And I know it's going to look atrocious here in this corner, but this is where it's going for right now. And we're filled up. So what I'm hoping we have here when I plug this in, I'm hoping with this single pendant light we get that little shimmer effect on the sand here. I don't know if it's going to do it with this filter or not. It might be something that works better when I have that that canister filter with a different head going into the water. But let me get this plugged in and we'll see what it looks like. All right. So we are running, and there's not much of that little shimmering effect that I was hoping we'd get from that. It might work a little bit better if I had a little bit less water in there, so it was more of like the cascading waterfall. But if I scooch you down here, yeah, you can't really see it that way either, can you? I can see it with my eyeballs down here. Well, yeah, that helps. That, you guys can't see anything now. So there's that little bit of shimmer that I'm getting right in here. And I can kind of see it a little bit over here. Now it'd probably work better with a little bit more surface agitation than what I'm getting with that currently, but that's the idea. So hopefully the other filter is gonna provide more of that shimmering effect, because it should work. Let me see. Now this is set to 100% power. It's not going to be on that for the fish because obviously there's no, I don't have any kind of plants in there. It is just going to be mechanical filtration, and we don't want algae. Not in this one. Some a little bit on the rocks, given the rocks, maybe some of these rocks over here, a little bit of green color, maybe a little bit of green to go with some of the nicer colors on this rock. But we don't want a ton, right? We don't want it all over the glass. We don't want it. So the nice thing about this is the fancy little remote control. It's also on the control for that, but I can drop this down. There's 20%. So again, you can kind of see the shimmer, but compared to that 100%, now the camera's adjusting a little bit so it's not 100% accurate like that, but I'm thinking maybe the 20%, it's still going to be enough light to get started, and I can adjust. You know, there's 40. There's actually no 60 on here. It just goes straight to 80, and then up to 100. So I don't know why there's nothing really in the middle there. But I'm gonna play around with this, see what I can figure out, and don't tell anybody. But I may actually look at the instruction book to see what I can find in there about the Wi-Fi controls on this thing. But don't tell anybody I said that. because you know how us guys are. We don't look at the instructions, so don't tell anybody. I'm counting on you. Alright, so we're going to let this go for a few days, let it run. I'll be checking the water, doing all that kind of fun stuff. In the meantime, it's only going to be a few seconds for you guys, so we'll just see you in a few seconds. Okay, I know I said I'd see you in a few seconds, but I was just playing around with the filter, and I don't know if the camera will pick this up or not, but if I angle it in a little bit more, really can't see it, can you? Let me try. So if I tilt it down a little bit more into the water, we get more of that shimmering effect, and you can really see it over here a lot better. So it's gonna be, I think it will be better once I get the canister filter, so I'm not gonna worry about it right now. So again, we'll bring it back in a few more seconds. Okay, we're back. I have the fish back from the shop, and we're gonna get them acclimatized, and when we're ready, I will bring you back to do the release. Okay, we're back. I'm going to release them. I'm just going to dump the water in with them. They're just going to be in here by themselves, so I'm not too worried about that, and I know they take care of the water at the shop there. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour them in. Well, welcome back, everybody. We got the fish in yesterday. I decided to give them a whole day just to kind of get used to their surroundings, kind of get relaxed and calm, check everything out. And there's one little guy right here who just seems to be interested in everything that's going on. I'm kind of surprised that it's the small one that is being super curious. The other one is over here, but I'm going to give him a little bit of food and just hopefully we can coax them out. We did do the beneficial bacteria after we got them in. I didn't bring you along for that, but make sure you're doing that for your tanks. It helps a bunch, and it's just a couple of them here, so not a whole lot of food. And we'll get them trained up for the little, for the little videos here. But it looks like we're already aware that, at least this little one is, that we're aware that food comes from up top here. So let's get some food in for them, and just thank you everybody for watching the video. If you made it this far, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, follow, whatever the button is, and we'll see you again here soon, hopefully. And don't forget to check out in the description, I'll put in the link for the coloring book and the different products that I've used today. And the little one's eating right away. That's a wonderful sign, isn't it? Now we just need the big one to come out. Oh, there he is. And I just looked at the camera and you guys can't see anything. Oh, there he goes. There. But thank you everybody for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe, follow button, whatever it is, and wait and see what our next additions to this little tank are going to be. So thank you again, and we'll see you again here on the next one.